Okay. Let's just do some adjustments. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Everybody can hear me good? Okay, good. So, what's everybody doing today? Saturday. What's going on? Let's see. Yeah, like I'll be able to see like the messages a little bit more. So if I'm looking off to the side, it's because I'm going to be able to read your guys' comments. Oh, Fontana, California, 100 degrees here. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. 2 years. I know, man. 2 years. Jeez. I went back and watched my first couple of videos recently, and I'm like, ugh. Aaron, working at the record store? Oh, nice. Pud, you're playing Call of the Wild on Xbox X. Nice. Knoxville. Hey, what's going on in Knoxville? I've been wanting to visit Tennessee. The wife and I are planning to go to Tennessee pretty soon. Indiana. How am I doing since the operation? Doing good. Doing good. Exercising, just taking care of myself, doing really good. Thanks, Reverend Kyle Love. Appreciate that, man. Logansport, Indiana, huh? I think we like yeah, I think we're planning go up towards Indiana at some point. Any hopes for next Criterion announcement? Should be on Monday. Um, yeah, go 4K. That's my hope. No, I'm just I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I would like Criterion to do, but I don't have anything into. I would like to see some of the later Godzilla films come to Criterion. Yeah, thanks. 2 years, man. It's just it feels sometimes it like feels like it just went by really quick. Sometimes it feels like it's been forever, but it's been a lot of fun doing the channel. Thanks, Aaron. From UK, where do you stand on switching aspect ratios? Are you talking about in during a movie, like alternating aspect ratios? Um, some movies do it better than others, like Lucy in the Sky, which was like the god awful worst movie I've ever seen, had like the weirdest aspect ratio switches like mid movie ever, and it just was very bothersome. But aspect ratios just they are what they are. Can you remember the first film that you saw that made an impression? I think the first film I remember seeing that made an impression was the Star Wars films at a drive-in theater. I think were the first movies that really just like grab me, like as far as being like an epic kind of film. Like I remember we saw, like the entire trilogy in a drive-in theater one night. It was crazy. Like that's I just have memories of that, and that just stood with me. That's cool. Understanding films. That's cool. I mean, I'm glad. Some, if I offered some help in that way, I'm glad. Hopefully, you're doing pretty good over there. Does my wife collect movies with me? No, she does not. Do you think you could ask Paramount to release the 4K remastered scan of Dreamgirls on all two versions of the film? I do not have the ear of any movie studio, but sure, Paramount, if you're, listening, do it. So, what else are you guys doing tonight? Relaxing. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Underrated gems. Um, that's a good video. I think an idea for a video. I like to do that. Just finished watching Champions League football game. Nice. Am I watching a movie tonight? No, not like traditional movie. I'm probably just watching TV tonight. Yeah, have you seen the Babysitter 2017? Samara stars Samara Weaving. Yeah, aren't they making a sequel to that? I did see it. I actually liked it. I thought it was cool. It's like my hair is going crazy up there. Would you stream if they let you download films similar to Kaleidoscope? Um, like Kaleidoscope is very expensive. Like that's a whole other hobby. That's a whole other level to it. So I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not opposed to streaming. I'm just opposed to the ownership rights and the lack of control and oversight that goes with streaming. So like there's movies I have that are digital and things, but I always try to have a physical copy of that movie, even if the streaming is 4K, but the physical copy is Blu-ray. As long as I have a physical copy, I'm happy. You think we might get a 4K release from WB of the original Neverending Story, and we ever get part three on Blu-ray? Neverending Story, I think so. Part three, I don't know, but Warner Archive seems to release a lot of stuff like that, so I wouldn't be surprised. The first videos I saw from you was why I still love Blu-ray. Realize how glad I am for collecting physical media in general. I know I love collecting Blu-ray. Just it's a lot of fun. Can't wait until the theaters reopen on Friday. I'm still mad about Disney's decision of putting Mulan on streaming, which Disney would release, you know, either in December or January. I know. I really want to see that in the big screen. Um, I don't. I don't like what they're doing with it, but $30 just to get the privilege of having it on Disney Plus, and you still have to be subscribed to Disney Plus. So if you ever decide to bail on it, you lose that $30 investment in the movie. So physical copy, that won't happen. Have you ever walked out of a movie at the theater? If so, which movie? I actually did. That was Mr. Wrong, starring Ellen DeGeneres. That movie was awful, and I almost walked out of Lucy in the Sky. That was a recent, like from last year. I was so close to. I told a story on the online somewhere that they were playing an opera next door, like from they were streaming an opera, and I almost like wanted to go to that, like instead of finishing Lucy in the Sky. It was that terrible, but I finished it. But yeah, the one I actually physically walked out of was Mr. Wrong. Do I baby my OLED or do I treat it like any other TV? I I kind of baby my home theater TVs. I I don't let anything potentially cause burn in, and I turn it off and turn on like when I'm not using it. So yeah, I guess I do baby it. Which cut of Superman 2 do I like better, theater or the Richard Donner cut? I like the theater cut because it actually has a unique ending to it. And while I miss the Marlon Brando stuff, I just can't get over like the reused ending for the Donner cut. I mean, there's stuff I do like about it, but I still have a soft spot for the theatrical. Worst experience at a movie theater? I would say any movie I saw in the last 2 years at this local theater that I live near because of talking, cell phones, I mean, just disruption of every sort at that damn theater. And it was really getting to the point where I did want to go, or I would go to a different theater because this one is just it's so bad. The experience is terrible. Black Christmas last year. I still haven't seen that, and I don't think I'm going to. How excited are you for Ghost in the Shell in 4K? Oh yeah, I'm extremely excited for it. I think the last time I saw that was special edition DVD, so I'm really excited for that. Zombies Halloween 2, you almost walked out of. Yeah, I didn't go to see that one, but I did buy the Blu-ray on a blind buy, and I regretted that ever since. Am I still buying Steelbooks? What's your last Steelbook? Yes, I am. Uh, God, what was the last one I got? I think Jaws was the last one I got. It's just whatever's coming out and they have available. I do have the Back to the Future Steelbooks on pre-order, so I'll be definitely getting those, and I have a bunch of stuff coming from September on. I watched Jason and the Argonauts again because I saw it exactly 57 years ago on the day. Wow. It's still a classic despite CGI. Oh God, yeah. It's like that time period of like Jason and the Argonauts and those movies were like some of my dad's favorite movies. So I watched those on VHS a lot. Yeah, absolutely. It looks. I still think they hold up. Just like going to like the. I'm currently burning through the Godzilla Criterion, and yeah, it's old stuff, but I still think it looks good and it holds up. I'm excited to get the Full Metal Jacket 4K Steelbook. Got it pre-ordered. Me too. What's your best 4K picture and audio quality movie? Ah, that's tough. Somebody asked me this question on Instagram, and I pointed towards Pacific Rim. I think honestly, for even though that's an upscale, I think the picture quality and the audio on that is top notch. So that's one I would just off the cuff recommend. But there's a ton I could really mention. You walked, understanding films. I walked out of the House of the Dead movie. Never again. Yeah. Are there any films where you prefer the Blu-ray over the 4K? Terminator 2. They need to really redo that 4K. I know it's kind of a controversial title, but yeah, I still watch the Blu-ray. I had the 4K and I just got rid of it because I think the DNR they did to it, it was a crying shame. And I want like a real like 4K of the. Also, I just want the extended cut like mastered in 4K as well for that. But right now, the Blu-ray is still better. Do I plan on reviewing the Flash Gordon 4K? I heard the picture quality is amazing. I wasn't going to get it, but I ordered it. I am going to review it for the channel. So that was one of those movies I don't have a nostalgia for, but I think it would. I think there's enough of you guys that would like to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a review for it. But yeah, I ordered it literally like yesterday, so I'll be picking that up. Yeah, I'm excited for the Scream Factory Friday the 13th box set. Yeah, I pre-ordered my copy from Amazon. I heard Disney Fox to continue the 4K release. It, yeah, look, their comment was a not it's a non-denial denial kind of situation. Look, like if they're not already invested like in their old 4K live action library besides Home Alone from Fox and Hocus Pocus, where it's not like they're denying anything because they haven't been doing it. So they want to I want to see them put out stuff. Until then it's all because every other studio is still putting out stuff even during the COVID. All that stuff is still happening. They just released Jaws and they've got a whole bunch of stuff coming out in the next couple months. But where's Disney? Where's Disney Fox? So I want to be wrong and I want to see them put stuff out, but proof is in the pudding. Until then, it is what it is. Is Project Power with Jamie Foxx worth a watch? I watched that yesterday and I'm gonna have a review up for that tomorrow. What movies do you want to see in theaters when they open again? New stuff. Honestly, old stuff I can just watch at home. I've got a 4K setup. I've got Blu-ray. That's already better than the theater experience, my local theater, because I don't have to put up their crap. So, with people's cell phones and stuff. So I want to see new stuff. I still have my Regal Unlimited, so I want to see new stuff. I'm still waiting on those early Peter Jackson movies to come out with their 4K transfer. Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive, and Heavenly Creatures. I still have. Yeah, we need more Peter Jackson in 4K. Would I collab with other YouTubers like Spare Chains or Films at Home? Yeah, sure. I have no problem with that. Disney will probably only throw us a bone on physical 4K once in a great while, just so they can technically say they weren't lying about continuing 4K. Sure. Yeah, I know. That whole thing's a mess. The 4K is the best Batman has looked to me. I couldn't touch the old transfers. I love how it looks on 4K. I think it looks great. I want Rocky collection on 4K, at least Rocky Balboa 6. It already looks great. Yeah, I would love the Rocky movies on 4K. I think we're gonna get them eventually. But like that's the thing about 4K is they love anniversaries. So when Rocky hits like a milestone, then I could see a 4K set coming. But yeah, I would absolutely love Rocky movies on 4K. Both Creed 1 and 2 look really good. Do I think people are taking the idea how to use digital in a lazy way? What do you mean? Like just like downloading it to your phone, like watching a movie on your phone, or just like doing it from your house? I really hope that the Saw franchise of movies get a 4K release soon. I think horror in general needs a lot more love on 4K. I really, it's, I would say there's arguably more comedies than horror films on 4K, and I don't get that at all. I would like to see a Rambo box set. I would too. Although I do own all of them on 4K, but my problem with box sets is when they're always making more movies, it outdates the box set. And apparently they're thinking about making another Rambo. So when they're finally done, I would be okay with like a box set. But until then, it's just individual releases. Do you own any Arrow Video? Yeah, I own a couple. Like I love Arrow Video, and the fact that they're bringing out stuff that's like they're doing Cinema Paradiso on 4K. I'm really excited to get that. Flash Gordon, obviously, but I don't know. I think the pricing on the Blu-rays are a little bit steep for me. It's like I really have trouble justifying a $25 purchase on a Blu-ray. Like I don't know. I've gotten spoiled with 4K pricing, I guess, but I still own a couple of Arrow Blu-rays, but they're not a whole lot. It's just I think they just kind of they're just a little bit too pricey for me. But it's like with Criterion, same thing. When it comes to Criterion, I wait for sales. It's really just you got to wait for those 50% off sales. Oh, what I mean is that they don't feel like taking a disc out and putting it in the player. I don't know. Everybody's different. Bring on Taxi Driver day one for me. I would not be surprised if that's one of the next titles in the Columbia Classics Collection Volume Two. I know I get an impression that one is coming soon. It's probably got an anniversary coming up at some point. So, and like I said, studios love the 4K anniversaries. I wouldn't mind RoboCop and RoboCop 2 in 4K. Me neither. I would love RoboCop and RoboCop 2. Do I buy from Hamilton Books? Yeah, I've gotten a few things from them. I know Superman 3 and Quest for Peace failed when they came out. What are your thoughts on these movies? Are they entertaining? I like 3. I actually do. I really like Superman 3. Quest for Peace, I've seen one time. I remember just being so disappointed by that movie. But yeah, I still go back to 3. I like it. It's goofy. It's completely against the first two movies as far as tone, but that movie scared the crap out of me with that certain scene. You know what I'm talking about towards the end, like that was some craziness. Like that went full Superman 3 went full blown horror at the end. Like seriously, the 40th passed and they chose Blu-ray only. Yeah, it happens. I'm really wanting Natural Born Killers, Fight Club, Titanic, Tron, and Tron Legacy on 4K. I have, it's like I still have probably a huge wish list of 4K titles from 20th Century Fox more than any other studio, and it's because they don't put out their stuff. So I'm still going to do that video. My wish list for per studio. I'm still going to do 20th Century Fox. I mean, I'm going to mention the whole Disney stuff happening, but Oh, I could do a top 30 list on 20th Century Fox stuff on 4K. Like, easy. Why are there not more TV shows at least on 4K disc as an option? Hannibal, Watchmen would be great. I agree. Unfortunately, it's just they've got to be able to feel like they can sell it. And I know it took them a long time to put stuff on Blu-ray. Like, a lot of TV stuff on Blu-ray was not coming out. So I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get Watchmen. I think HBO's kind of, cheap with that stuff because even on their streaming service they don't have 4K. So think Criterion will ever upgrade to 4K and Dolby Atmos? I don't know. I'm not thinking it's looking good for them. Oh, it's going a little fast. Unpopular opinion, I really like Supergirl 1984 movie set in that world, or set in that world I even own. Yeah, I own Supergirl. It's not as good as the Superman movies, but it has like a charm to it. Was it Helen Slater? I thought was really good as Supergirl. So yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I would like Highlander on 4K. Uh, I think there's been so many versions of that on DVD and Blu-ray. 4K version would be great. True Lies 4K or at least official Blu-ray, but who knows when that's going to be the day. I know the whole Cameron thing with True Lies and The Abyss is it's it hopefully it's coming. I'm like you. I would be happy with a Blu-ray. If we get a Blu-ray, I probably never say another word about it. But I would love a 4K. But who knows if that's ever going to happen? But yeah, Cameron in those movies, I swear. What film do you want in 4K from New Line Cinema? I don't know. That's a good question. I think off the top of my head, I would like Pleasantville. I think would look really sharp in 4K. The whole black and white segments, the color that comes contrasting on those black and white segments, I think has the potential to be like a disc of the year type of film. So I guess I would say Pleasantville. I think would look really good. What is the most disturbing or and frightening scene you have seen in a movie that has haunted you? I don't know. I would say Poltergeist. That movie still scares me. Um, that whole pit to hell in the closet thing. Yeah, that was pretty intense. Will Blade 4K be coming soon? I heard some rumors. Yeah, I heard those same rumors about Blade coming to 4K. I think it would look. I think the first two movies would be great. So, yeah, but I haven't heard anything like concrete. TV I use for 4K. I keep all my equipment listed in the video descriptions, but it's an LG C9 65-inch. Fear and Loathing in 4K. That would look really good if they did it right. I think Fear and Loathing would be pretty amazing on 4K. That the movie is as trippy as everything, but I could see the potential there. The original Jacob's Ladder needs a 4K release. Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, it's been years since I've seen that movie. Species 2, the horrified threesome scene, that scared the pants out of me. Thanks, Brass Tacks. Yeah, man, thank you. Thank you so much. My God, where does the time go? Did I like Collateral or Nightcrawler better? Oh geez. They're both so good, but I think I'm more of a Michael Mann film fanatic than um. So I would say Collateral probably, but Nightcrawler's so good. Is an Xbox One S good enough for a 4K player, or would you recommend dedicated player? It's a good enough 4K player. But I think if you're going to be watching a lot of movies with 4K, get a dedicated player because some of those will have like a lot more bells and whistles to watch movies with. You know, like the Panasonic, was it the 820, has a lot of features that really boost the picture quality. But you know, if that's all you really have is an Xbox, then that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Am I going to see Tenant? I plan to. Like to. Hopefully, they open the theater for it. My wife wants to know what the funniest film you have seen. I would say it's a tie between Airplane and Spaceballs. I think are movies that still make me laugh, even though I've seen them repeatedly. Alien or Aliens. Why do I have to choose? Um, for a good horror film, Alien. For a good action film, Aliens. I guess it depends on what I'm looking for. Have I seen the new Deep Blue Sea 3 movie? No, and I still haven't seen 2, but I hear it's not good. But I don't know. I just rewatched Deep Blue Sea, and it holds up surprisingly well. So I don't know. I may go after 2 or 3 and just watch them for fun. Love to see Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon on 4K. Although Criterion Silence of the Lambs picture quality is really good. I would too. I would like to see because I thought Hannibal looked really good on 4K. So Silence of the Lambs, I think will come eventually. Red Dragon maybe, but I would like to see them. I need a new 4K player that plays Dolby Vision, can spend up to about 300. What would you recommend from Best Buy? Go with the I was gonna say go with the Panasonic 420, but I don't believe that does Dolby Vision. I think that's HDR only. Um, I don't know. I would have to do some research on that. Will I be paying $30 for Mulan? Yeah, on disc. I will pay $30 for Mulan on 4K. I will not be buying the Dolby Vision or the digital stream of that. I just no, no. love to have Clint Eastwood westerns on 4K. So would I. I would. Ooh, that's a good idea for a video. Like top 5 Clint Eastwood movies I want to see on 4K. Ooh. How much does it cost a home theater setup like yours? I don't know because I pieced it together over a couple of years. Um, I would say it's probably altogether pushing 10. Um, Maybe a little bit more, but this is like piecing it together over a couple of years. Do you think Friday the 13th will go 4K? I don't know. I know they're doing scans for the upcoming Scream Factory box set of the first 4 movies. So maybe one day, but not anytime soon, I don't think. And for some reason, horror movies are like very rarely get a 4K treatment. It's just the way it is. It sucks. Superman 2 has 4K. I think it should come with the Richards cut, at least on Blu-ray disc. Yeah, I would like the theatrical cut on 4K. The Donner cut could just be the Blu-ray, but if they could somehow do both. Unforgiven looks great on 4K. It's been a while since I've watched that. I have to go back and I'll probably go back and review that one. What's my favorite horror movie? Poltergeist. Still scares me. It's still like the one horror movie that still scares me. Like horror movies don't scare me anymore. I feel so jaded when I watch them because I'm more entertained and fascinated by it. And then it's like I just wish like I would get that scare thrill, but Poltergeist still scares me. I turn the lights out, turn up the surround sound, and I'm good. Do you think Dark City would be a good 4K release? Yes, I do, and I think I mentioned that in my Warner Brothers 4K wish list. Or did I mention that one? I don't know. I mentioned that some. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Can't wait for Lord of the Rings trilogy in 4K. I know. I was really wishing it was coming out this year. Theaters are open here. Watched Unhinged. It was man. You planning on seeing it? Yeah, I'm a Russell Crowe fan, and I like to see it. So we'll see if the theaters are open around here. I don't think they are currently. Do you recommend upgrading Halloween 1978 from Blu-ray to 4K? Yeah, definitely. Did The Conjuring scare you? Um, no. The second one kind of freaked me out a little bit. There was a couple scenes in there that when I was watching it, I was like, oh, like kind of like, set the pulse racing a little bit. But I didn't get a full scare because there's a lot of like that jump scare stuff. Usually it's really easy to, pinpoint. So unfortunately, it's like they telegraph it way too easily. But no, I still love the Conjuring films, though. I still think they're entertaining. New Mutants trailer looks good. I'd like to go see if they open. I don't think I'm gonna go see that one. I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna go to the theater to see that one. How many hours a week or so, or how many films do you watch a week? A lot. Between at least one a day, if not more. If whatever I'm on, like if I'm getting a new release like to review, then I'll watch it, and then I'll watch something else that day usually. But yeah, at least once a day, maybe twice. Depends. Like the last couple days, I've watched 2 movies a day. So That's what I was able to squeeze in. Did Ridley Scott Aliens scare you? Not really. I think it's because when I saw that one, I was kind of like, my dad had already introduced me to movies like, you know, like horror movies, but that's the thing. Like, I think if I would like watch these movies like when I was in a dark room with the lights turned out, but the lights were all on and everything like that. So it's like when I see movies like Alien for the first time, I didn't get that like shock factor. So I think, now that I watch stuff, in the dark, in a proper home theater setup, then that has more potential to do it. But I kind of wish I had that big screen experience with Alien when it first came out. Do you think, Aaron is saying, do you think a Coen Brothers collection would be good for 4K? Favorite Coen film is Miller's Crossing. I would say so. I would say there's some good potential 4Ks from the Coen Brothers. I would like to see Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Um, Even though I have a Criterion of it, Inside Llewellyn Davis would look good. Yeah, there's a lot of Coen Brothers films I would like to see. What movies, if any, do you watch at least a couple times a year? Um, I guess some of the Marvel movies I watch a couple times a year. Like I watched Endgame like twice already so far in 2020. But there are some other movies that I do watch a couple times. I can't think of them right off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. I think Jaws I watch like at least twice a year. May have already been asked, but do you have an Atmos setup at home, and will you have or have you done a tour? I do have an Atmos setup, and I will do a tour. It's going to be in the future though. Like right now, like there's potential for my wife and I to be moving, so I want to get that all situated, and then I'm going to do like a whole room tour video of that because right now things are kind of like just up in the air with that. So as soon as that gets settled, then I plan to get a setup and get a whole room tour going. Favorite Christmas film? Christmas Vacation, absolutely that one. Do you know why Nolan has not added an Atmos track to uh, BMR or any other Christian Bale Batman? They are in 4K, but no height. He's very particular, from what I read, about 5.1. He likes it. He thinks that's enough. So, and that's what apparently runs in theaters. Do you like the silent comedians, Chaplin, Lloyd, Keaton? I do. I feel like I should be investing more into watching those films. It's just like getting access to those movies is kind of a pain. But I've seen a lot of Chaplin stuff, more than Buster Keaton. But yeah, I think no, I do. I'm a fan. Like I was a big fan of like that era. Especially when growing up, they would be on TV like on Channel 12 or something. They would be on TV. Do you buy DVDs? I bought a DVD copy of the best looking 4K movies for each year to see the difference. And I don't have money to be wasting on getting a DVD, versus a Blu-ray or 4K. It's I like it when they're kind of included with the Blu-ray. Then I can do a and B comparison, but I don't buy separate DVDs. I don't think they look particularly great on the OLED. Do you think movie theaters crank the volume up too loud? I have tinnitus and wear earplugs whenever I go. I think every theater is different. The theater near me does not. In fact, they have it mixed on the low side. There's only one theater somewhat near me that actually has their volume turned up. And I think like that's really more the exception than the rule, at least for around here. Why don't you introduce you to your wife on your reviews? I've tried to get her on here. I've seriously tried to get her on here. Um, I did a video with her uh, 2 Christmases ago. Like the first Christmas, I did like kind of a little something different. I did a Christmas light tour. We were staying in Ocean City, New Jersey, or Pennsylvania, or Ocean City, Maryland, and we did a light thing, and she was on that video. But and I've tried to get her to do like, best couples kind of movie, um, that kind of things. She's camera shy, so I don't know. I'll try to get her on here, but yeah, I've tried. How do you convince your wife to let you watch 2 films a day? What is your secret sauce? She's very understanding. Do you think the Terminator franchise will ever get fixed, or do you think it's over? I think it'll get a reboot, like a complete reboot. I think that's where they're going to go next with it. It'll be a few years, but there's too much money on the table not to do it, so they're gonna reboot it. Just the reception on this last one wasn't good. Yeah, OLED and maybe 4K TVs in general reveal the limitations of DVD. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. The TV I owned before this, the Sony TV that I still use for my 3D reviews, that does a better job at showcasing three or DVD than the OLED does. There's a complete difference there. Have you ever defended a movie you loved but others hated? Yeah, I mean there's quite a lot of movies that a lot of other people really hate that I like. Can't think of one right now, but I know recently I had a discussion with somebody about it. Hey Adam, what's a website you recommend for importing Blu-rays? I would say Zabi's a good website. Um, Amazon UK is a good one. Like I get my 3D stuff from Amazon UK. But yeah, those are two that I would recommend. Should I upgrade from 50-inch to a 65-inch? Is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. 65 is a big enough difference. I went from a 46 straight to a 65, and that was a huge difference for me. How many discs in total do you have? I have collected 1,400 to date. When I'm thinking about the Zapit NES and player, have you played with these before? I have not. I think the last, God, what was the last count? I think I have about 1,200. No, I know it's over 1,200 discs. That's including Blu-ray, 4K, 3D. I know that number's not right. I know it's a little higher than that. I gotta look on the collection app. Do you think we'll ever get the Sean Connery Bond movies in 4K? I hope so. I would like all the Bond films on 4K. Do I buy Hot Toys? No. I'm not against the Hot Toys. I just don't have enough money for that kind of a collection. Like I used to collect sideshow statues, like comic characters and stuff, and I had to give up that hobby a while ago. But yeah, it's just they're pricey collecting. Do all 4K players play DVDs? Think so. I haven't really tried on my 4K player. I can't really. It's like I have the Oppo 203. I don't remember it. Guys, help me out. Does that play? Do 4K players play DVDs? Because the Blu-ray player I have that plays my 3D on my 3D TV, that plays DVDs. But I don't think I've ever played. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they do? Okay. I've had some DVDs look great on my C9 and UB 820. Yeah, I think it's more of a your mileage may vary kind of situation. Adam, do you like movies that are so bad they're good, like The Room, Troll 2, The Fanatic? I love The Fanatic. Travolta's over the top. I gotta see that. I do like a lot of crap movies, but yeah, there's a lot I do like. It's odd to me that The Knowing has a 4K, but Con Air and Face Off doesn't. Oh, I know, right? Um, I think I've only seen The Knowing like twice. Um, does Disney own the James Bond movies? No, MGM still owns those, I believe. But they license them out, from what I understand. Yeah, didn't the rights get switched over to Universal at some point recently? I know, like I think the Daniel Craig collection was technically Fox owned or distributed those, and I think the rights just went to Universal. Do I like Masters of the Universe? I do. I saw that in the theater. Um, and I was like, I think that was by memory, like the first time they did an after credit scene. Not the first time ever, but the first time I remember seeing an after credit scene was Masters of the Universe. Favorites of the Jack Ryan series, Red October and Clear and Present Danger are my top two. They look great in Dolby Vision. I like Red October and Patriot Games. I like Clear and Present Danger, but out of those two with Harrison Ford, I like Patriot Games a little bit more. Have you ever considered reviewing gear? Your movie reviews are the go-to place. Would love to get your. I would love to. I wish I could afford to buy a bunch of gear and review it. And I'm not a big enough channel for for companies to send me stuff. But if that ever happens, I would review gear. I would love to do that. Honestly, I would like to get to that point in a channel where I could do that. But since I buy all the movies that I review, like nobody sends me any free copies. So like when it comes to very pricey gear, that's another whole thing. Like, thank you, Faux Show. Congrats on your anniversary and good to see you healthy and kicking. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling good, everybody. Did you get Tex Avery cartoons on Blu-ray? I that was one I missed. I that's on my wish list to get, but I really want to get those on Blu-ray. Do you think that any Kevin Smith films will get a 4K release? He needs to put more, like, he needs to get Dogma back and put that back on Blu-ray because until he gets that whole situation sorted out, but I don't know. I don't know if a 4K would really benefit Kevin Smith movies too much. I think Blu-ray's okay for that. But yeah, I don't know. I would, if they ever put them out, I probably would buy them. How excited are you about the new Top Gun? I can't wait. I'm okay. Here's the thing. I'm very excited about Top Gun. So I did a trailer reaction back when I was doing trailer reactions, And I got the most negative like dislikes on that video because I feel like they definitely look like they were, going to Force Awakens Top Gun. Just from the trailer. That's like they were hitting all the highlights, they were doing all that stuff, and it didn't look like they were showing me anything new. Now the trailer they did after that was better. But I remember when I got trailer reactions were like the worst putting that. It's like I got the most thumbs down on that video. I really did. Original rollerball in 4K. I think that would look good. I think that would look good in 4K. I would like to see that. Do I watch other reviewers, and so who's your favorite? Um, I don't really anymore. I used to. I would watch, Brass Tacks, Spare Change, but I don't now, only because I want to be able to, when I review stuff, I don't want to be influenced by other reviewers. Like I don't want to, like I want to be able to form my own opinion. And now there'll be times where like I'll review something, and then I'll post it, and then I'll go and then look and see what their thoughts were, just say, see if we're on the same wavelength and stuff. But yeah, for day-to-day stuff, I don't typically check out other YouTubers, but I'm big fans of Brass Tacks, and Shane over at Spare Change is awesome. Would love Hellraiser on 4K. I would too. I would love. I would say the first three on 4K would be great. How big do you have to get? Can we help? I wish I knew the answer to that. Even though I've been doing this for 2 years, I don't. I don't really know like those like behind the scenes circumstances in order to get that kind of like sponsorship. I don't know if it's something that somebody will email me at some point or something saying, hey, would you like, because I get asked to review I actually got asked to review a some kind of DVD burner like about a year ago, and I'm like, no, like this is not like what I do on the channel at all. But I don't know. I wish I knew the answer to that question. Wish they do a 4K for Dark City. What a movie. Yeah, I would love that. Seems silly, but I wouldn't mind the Austin Power movies getting a 4K release. Yeah, the colors would really pop on that. Do you think the John Wick franchise is starting to get out of hand since Chapter 4 and 5 were both announced? I don't. I don't know if getting out of hand is the right way to put it, but it might be wearing out its welcome doing two more movies. Like if I don't know, like it's really kind of like three. I felt was kind of on that line of a quality action flick to very overly long, and there's a lot of story points that didn't kind of work. But I don't know. I'll watch them. I'll definitely be going to see them. Let's see. You three are my favorite. U, B, T, and S, E. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Should a Criterion film such as Seven Samurai get a 4K release? I think more black and white films would benefit from 4K release. We don't know like what the rights situation is. I don't know if Criterion still has the rights. I think they do, but I guess they have to figure it would. There's a market for it. I would love Seven Samurai, all Kurosawa films to have a 4K release. what you like to achieve next with your channel. I don't know. Like, I wanna get to that 10K subscribers. I think that's kind of like the next milestone for me, and just really kind of just continue having fun with it. We ever do another top 10 releases I want from studios? Yeah, I've done two so far. I'm gonna work. I think the next one I'm gonna do is Paramount or Sony. But yeah, that's coming. I'm doing one of those like in about another 2 weeks or so. Sucks that Heat, Fight Club, and Butch Cassidy won't get the 4K treatment anytime soon. I know. Yeah, the whole Disney Fox 4K thing. I mentioned this earlier in the video. It has a denial from Disney that this is the case, but you can't deny something you're not actually doing to begin with. Like they're not really putting out that stuff, the catalog stuff in 4K. Home Alone and Hocus Pocus. Oh, let's throw them a party. Like wow, they're really digging into the library for that. Um, I think the proof is in the pudding. If like they really want to do it, they'll do it, and then everybody can be quiet about it. But I think right now they're focusing on new releases on format, and that's pretty much it. So I like John Wick, but yeah, it's starting to feel a little samey, same, even with the new elements introduced. Yeah, kind of. Does anybody remember HD DVD? Man, I was backing both horses in that race. Like I had a player, I had Blu-ray player, and I knew when the writing was on the wall that Blu-ray was going to win out on that. It's like I quickly sold everything just to get the best profit I could off of it because like I could tell where things were going. Um, but yeah, what do I think of Sergio Leone? Big fan. Like Once Upon a Time in the West is my one of my favorite westerns, and I like his that film more than The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I know it's very like controversial to say that, um, but Once Upon a Time in the West, I that's probably another movie I watch a couple times a year. I do watch that one a couple times. I would love a 4K of that, but that is probably like I would say my second favorite western would be that one. I would love to see Darkman and Dust Till Dawn on 4K. I absolutely would love both of those movies on 4K. Oh, Eugene says, enjoy your channel. Congrats on 2 year anniversary. Thank you very much. Watching your channel got me back to collecting physical media, especially 4K steelbooks. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you all guys, everybody for being subscribers. Like that's really awesome. I want Tremors movies on 4K, mainly 1 through 4. I've never seen any of the direct to video sequels of Tremors. The first one, I absolutely love that movie. I really do. Um, but the direct to video ones, I have never seen them. I know they've made several, but I've never actually watched them. Do you sell your double copies of your physical media? Like when yeah, like when there's like a 4K that comes out that I have a Blu-ray of, then I'll put that in a Blu-ray pile to sell. Like I'll take it to FYE and sell them. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of doubles in my collection, but whenever I do get like a 4K replacement for a Blu-ray, I will sell that. Have you heard of Blu-ray.com and are you a member? Yes, I am. And I go to their site quite a bit. In your opinion, who are the top three movie studios when it comes to best quality 4K discs? Oh, excuse me. Sony, say probably Warner Brothers, and then let's say Paramount would probably be like they put out really good stuff. Like their audio mixes are I'd probably say the best. But I think those three are the best when it comes to releasing 4Ks. What do you think of the A24 film Enemy? I have not seen it yet. Which DreamWorks would release the original R-rated version of Galaxy Quest? Um, I'd be happy with the normal version. Is there an R-rated version of Galaxy Quest? I know there was I think like a PG-13. What is that rated anyway? Do you have merch? If not, you should. I don't have merch. I once again I got to get a little bit bigger in the channel in order to kind of do merch because I don't think I would sell a lot, honestly. But if I do, I'll do some shirts or something. I already have some ideas of what I would do, but thank you, Ben Tompkin. Happy 2-year anniversary. Thank you very much. Did you see The Hunt? I saw that finally for the first time a couple days ago. I that was one of the days I watched two movies in one day. I did watch it, and I thought it was not bad. It was not bad. I would have liked it a little bit fleshed out more, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. Oh, super chat, $5. Thanks. Plastic spoon. My first ever super chat. That is awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for all the content you're considering, or your consistency is great. What 4K title do you hope gets redone, i.e. Terminator 2 without all... Yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but Terminator 2, that would be top of my redo list of 4Ks, preferably with the extended cut in them. Oh my God, another super chat from Mel H. $10. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's really, really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Electroshock. 2 years. It just flies right by. I heard Warner Brothers is going to put Scooby-Doo 2002 on 4K. I would love a Scooby-Doo 4K of the original cut of that movie. You know, because apparently I remember when it came out, they butchered the whole edit of that film, and I would love like a unrated cut of that movie. And what better place than to do it on 4K? It seems like Warner Brothers is handing out, you know, extended cuts all over the place, so I could see that happening. Do you think there will be a Taxi Driver 4K release? Happy anniversary. Yes, I do, and thank you very much. I think Taxi Driver may be on the Columbia Classics Collection Volume 2, but I could see that getting a standalone release. Do you think Clue from '85 would make a cool 4K title? I would. From me personally, I would love to see that on 4K. I know it's kind of like one of those niche kind of movies, but yeah, I would love to see Clue on 4K. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. One 4K I rarely have seen reviewed is Shaun of the Dead. I picked it up without knowing it's a good transfer, and I thought it was a pretty one. I can't remember. Did I do Shaun of the Dead 4K review? I might have not done them because because I bought the individual releases and they came out a month after the trilogy was released. So I thought I may have to go back and redo all those individually. I'm doing that anyway, apparently. So, you know, with the slowdown and everything. Cannot wait for the Beetlejuice 4K release to come out. I know. I'm extremely excited for that. Early Tim Burton stuff, Michael Keaton, I cannot wait for that. And also Goonies, I think, are my two upcoming releases that I'm super excited about for September. I'm really can't wait for those two. Wish Warner Brothers would reissue Three Amigos from 1986 on Blu-ray. I think they did. I have it. Is it out of print already? Because that one didn't come out too long ago. It's been like only a year or two since that came out. Yeah, Three Amigos is on Blu-ray. Really appreciate the content. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Mel. What's your opinion on the Goodfellas 4K? Do you think it needs a redo? I'll be honest. It's been a few years since I've seen that one, and I think the fact. All right, when I got Goodfellas on 4K, I watched it on my previous television, which had zero HDR capability. It had 4K capability, but the HDR was non-existent. It literally came out just before HDR was a thing. So I can't honestly give an answer to that one. I have to go back and watch it on my current C9, and then I can better answer that question. I'll do a review of it. I'll do a review, and I'll answer that question there. But I'm hearing it's pretty rough on the HDR. Do you think movie theaters will eventually become obsolete since people are now paying to rent theater movies at home? Um, I don't know. I don't think so. I think theaters are going to be around for a while, but there's going to be some change with how like they're kind of going to be operating, I think. Hi, it's me, the guy you gave the Pacific Rim advice to, aka Scott. Oh, what's going on, Scott? Hope you enjoyed it. Wish Paramount would release the original 4-hour, uncut, uncensored NC-17 version of Wolf of Wall Street. I would too. Oh, thank you. Super chat from RRK65. Do you go to Comic Cons to meet celebrities? I go to Comic Cons. I went to New York Comic Con last year. I don't really go to meet celebrities. I go for the gear. I go for the merch and the stuff. I like walking the floor. I actually met a couple of viewers when I went last year, and that was the first time I ever met somebody that knew me from the channel. It was really kind of a cool experience. And it sucks that they canceled everything due to COVID this year, but because I was supposed to go to Star Wars Celebration, have my 4-day ticket all ready to go, my flight booked and everything for Star Wars Celebration, and I was going to go to New York Comic Con, and everything just got kind of put on the back burner this year. 2020 sucks, everybody. It just sucks. But thank you very much, RK, for that super chat. It's really, really generous of you. Do you think we're going to get Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Jackie Brown, Reservoir Dogs on 4K? I hope so. We need more Tarantino. I know he's kind of been a little wishy-washy with 4K. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was like the exception, but I would love to see. And I know I keep hearing stuff about Inglourious Bastards coming out on 4K, so hopefully we'll see all those other things. I just rewatched Kill Bill 1 and 2, and I would love to see a 4K HDR like presentation of that. Would you do a real versus fake 4K video? I don't know. I've got lots of thoughts on upscale versus native. So I might do something about that, but I'm not as down on like an upscale as a lot of some people are. But I recognize, there's a lot of behind the scenes reasons why they choose to upscale stuff versus a native 4K. Um, but I'm not as I would like everything to be native 4K. It's just unfortunately, let's take Avengers Endgame. Like imagine that in native 4K. The cost to produce those special effects would just be astronomical, and you can't have like a 2K, CGI, that kind of thing against a native 4K picture would just look completely off. It'd be kind of like when they do 4Ks of early 90s CGI. That's how it would look like today. So it would like I said, I understand the reasons that studios do and do not do it, but I feel that it can probably get a better explanation in a video or something. So Spirit Away 4K, yay or nay? Yay, absolutely. Adam, do you think the Universal classic monsters movies can be improved upon picture wise with 4K, or the film's too old to see any difference? I don't know. You look at a movie like It's a Wonderful Life, and as old as that is, I think it looks great on 4K. So I think there's potential there, and I hope we see them one day. Like I mentioned this earlier in the stream that I'm actually going through the Godzilla films, the Toho, uh, the Showa era Godzilla films on Criterion right now, and I'm thinking some of those I don't think would look too great with 4K, but the Universal monsters I think could potentially look really good. What's your favorite movie poster? My favorite movie poster is I'll show it to you actually. It's Michael Mann's Heat. That's my favorite movie poster. I met Christina Ricci last year at Fanboy Expo 2019. Oh yeah? How'd that go? I just saw Showgirls is coming out on 4K across the pond. I saw that too. I don't think I would get that, honestly. I've seen it like twice, but I don't know. We'll see. Have you ever had a professional calibration on your 4K TV or just go by the eye? Now I was supposed to get my TV calibrated in April, but then I had the health issue that I had, so that got put on the back burner. And then of course COVID hit, and I'm going to get it done. Just I gotta wait for things to kind of calm down a little bit. But right now, like I'm confident in my ability to calibrate a TV just on my own. That I feel it looks really good at this point. But when it gets professionally calibrated and then I go in again, but I think it looks really good with my tweaks. I've been doing it long enough, so. All right, Greg, thank you for stopping in. I heard King Kong 2005 4K was off because of the CG. Um, I don't remember. Like, I have to go back to that one, but I remember watching it. I don't think it was too bad. Yeah, the CG was a little bit rough in spots in 2005 generally, but I don't remember it being particularly standoutish. So I'll have to go back and revisit that one. Do I collect any movie replica movie props? I used to. I'd like to again one day. Number one poster is Jaws. Nosferatu in 4K. I don't know. I don't know if that could be really kind of improved upon, but I wouldn't mind. Pacific Rim in 4K is the tits. Yeah, it is. It's really good. The world situation cannot put an end to theater going experience. Theater are my church. They are mine too. I miss going. I miss going to like a good Dolby Cinema and an IMAX, and it feels like it's been forever since I think the last movie I saw was The Invisible Man in theater, and I think before that was Onward. But yeah, just I miss it. I really do. Stay safe, everyone. All right, Pud. Pacific Rim 4K was mind blowing. Yes, it was. That's another one I watch a couple times a year. I watch it and I just love cranking up the home theater for it. It's really just I love giant monster movies. I really monsters, robots, and I still think about what Guillermo del Toro said. He's like, I've always wanted to make like a robot versus monster movie, and I'm like, you did a great job. It's a shame the sequel was terrible. Do you think some old TV shows that were actually shot on film will ever get a 4K release? Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's. I mentioned this earlier in the stream that it took a while for Blu-rays to start getting TV product, and even now DVD still gets most of it. 4K seems to be the niche of the niche when it comes to TV shows. So I would like to see, we're getting Game of Thrones on 4K, which is great, but I would love to see more stuff on 4K for TV. MCU films are not that impressive on 4K. They could be better. They could be better, but I think some of them do look really nice. Adam, I love your channel, and I have to say the one thing that separates you from the others is you're down to earth and no nonsense. Thank you. Also, not a great movie, and I'm not a fan of the soap opera motion, but Gemini Man 4K looks amazing. It does. It does. It looks. It was on my top list of best looking of 2020 so far, and yeah, the movie itself's not great, and the HFR is very takes some getting used to, but it looks just crystal clear. Do you have any information about A Clockwork Orange on 4K? It's the anniversary next year. It's for sure coming out. Like it's coming out next year. It just makes sense. So yeah, I mean we're getting a lot of Kubrick in 4K. SpongeBob is not even on Blu-ray. Do you have a favorite movie which you were extremely disappointed by its 4K disc quality? Yeah, once again, Terminator 2. That's still one of my favorite of all time movies, but the 4K edition of that is just not good. It's really not. I think that was the one of the first 4Ks I ever bought that I just sold right after watching it. It was just that bad. I know I might sound weird saying this, but I would love to see a 4K release of Pulp Fiction, Uncut Gems, Interview with the Vampire. I agree with all of those. It's not weird at all. It's those would look really good on 4K. Sad that Kubrick is not even around to see his movies in 4K glory. I seem to remember him not being a fan of of certain home media. He would probably hate HDR. He would hate Dolby Vision. I just, it's I don't think he would appreciate it. I don't think he would. But I'm glad we get to. Do you own all Superman movies with Christopher Reeves? Yeah, I have the collection, the Superman collection that was released a bunch of years ago, the box set um, that has all the movies on there. I only go to the first three. Obviously, the first one's on 4K. I watch it on 4K, but I do watch the theatrical, and then Superman 3 I watch. Die Hard 4K is my worst 4K Blu-ray I own. I had Magnolia do my calibration. They do a pretty good job. Have a great anniversary. Thank you very much. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I heard Inglorious Bastards 4K is coming sometimes before the end of the year. Not sure if it's still happening. I keep hearing the same rumor. I've heard that's coming since the beginning of the year. I don't know if COVID kind of slowed that process down, but I heard that same rumor. I really want a Kubrick 4K box set. Yeah, some people like the more of the box sets. I like the individual titles, but they are releasing the three the same day as Full Metal Jacket. They're releasing the Shining, Full Metal Jacket, and 2001. I know it's not the same, but it's probably the closest we're going to get because different studios have different rights and everything. Watched Blade Runner 1982 remastered last night. Very impressed. Yeah, I just reviewed that again recently. That one is beautiful to look at. It really is. T2 4K came out for the remaster they did for the 3D. Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They should have no. Yeah, that was such a wasted opportunity. Let's see. Any news on the Abyss 4K? It's been many years in the planning. Nothing new. Apparently, they did. Last I heard it was they did color correction on it, and that was the last I heard about it. So apparently, they are done, but it's up to Cameron to release that stuff. The Thing, They Live, and a lot of other John movies need 4K releases. They have some of those. Those are like from the UK. They do have They Live in 4K. The Thing, I keep hearing that Italy is releasing a 4K edition of that one, but like I want to see The Fog. I know that one's also import in 4K. Escape from New York in 4K. Those are you can import those from in 4K. So I don't know what's going on with the rights here in America about that. That just seems weird, but yeah, we need more Carpenter stuff in 4K. Let's see. What's your favorite Disney Steelbook? Mine is the 4K of Little Mermaid. That's a good question. I would say probably Aladdin would be my favorite Steelbook from them. Really liked it. I really liked it. Cameron doesn't care about 4K, just wants Avatar. I don't know what's going on there. Will they do a Blade Runner set with both films and all cuts? Uh, for 4K, no, I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it for them to do that. The Blu-ray, which I still own the Blu-ray collection with the 5 cuts on it. I think it's the best we're going to get for that. All the other cut, the only cut that's currently available on 4K is going to be the final cut, and I don't think they're going to go beyond that. Some movies should not be in 4K because sometimes it ruins the look of the film. Give me some examples. I'm curious. Would be fantastic if Studio Ghibli would release their films in 4K HDR. I agree. I would like to see some of those movies. I think would look really nice. Avatar 2022. Yeah. And we probably still won't have True Lies and The Abyss by then. Imagine Cameron spending all that money on his Avatar films for them to go straight to streaming. I don't think he'd be down for that. I think at the end of the day he does like physical media. It's just not important to like what he's doing in his life. So that's what I get. But I think if like you sat him down and said physical media versus streaming or digital, I think he would go physical media. I love old movies on 4K. If they're done right, they look as the director intended. Yeah, I think so too. I know there's a couple of directors like Steven Soderbergh that have kind of issues with, the whole HDR application, Dolby Vision. Um, but I think for the most part, a lot of directors do support it, and they realize what they can do um, for the home format. So I think it's more, I would like to see, like there's a lot of Soderbergh films I would love to see on 4K. I just mentioned this in the wish list for Universal 4K stuff. I'd like to see Out of Sight. Um, Traffic would look. I think Traffic has a potential to look really good or really bad, depending on how they format it. But yeah, I think for the most part, most directors are on board for it. Do you like Ed Wood from Tim Burton? I love that movie. I think it's really good. I think Johnny Depp is awesome. Um, uh, just it's a good Burton film, but it's a really good Johnny Depp movie, and I would like to see that one. I do own the Blu-ray, but I'm trying to think if there's any Burton film. No, okay, it's like is there any Burton films I'm not a fan of. I think the Alice in Wonderland, the first one. Did he do the second one? I don't remember, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one. The Last of the Mohicans needs a 4K remaster. Yeah, it really does. Gangs of New York. Yeah, that needs a 4K. That does. Yeah, more Scorsese is always good. I really want The Departed on 4K. I think that's probably the one. I know he's got an extensive library, but for some reason I just really want that one on 4K. I think it needs a redo. It could really benefit from that HDR. I think it would look great, and it's kind of more of his underappreciated movies. I think we'll get it eventually. I just don't know when. Did anyone else like Eurovision with Will Ferrell? I still have to watch that. That's on my watch list for Netflix. I still haven't sat down and watched it. I heard it's good though. Which version of Waterworld would you recommend? The 4K version or the Arrow version? I would recommend the Arrow version for the extended cut that's on there. What is it called? The Ulysses cut they also have on there. Um, it's a good transfer. It's like kind of got like a warm picture to it. The 4K has got, HDR and it looks really good. But I think, if you want to just kind of get more of the movie experience, I think the Arrow version's the way to go. What's your opinion on open matte films? Ironic how IMAX is what we get in the theaters and the theatrical. Um, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I get it, but I think the original aspect ratio should be preserved no matter what. So that's the thing. Like what you see in an IMAX screen is not going to be the same thing you see at a normal theater. So I think, I wish there was a way to release both versions. I think I'm more kind of like when it comes to 3D, I think I wish that would be a little bit more adhered to. But I'm whatever the original aspect ratio is, I'm a fan. So if whatever they use for IMAX, great. I would like both ways, I suppose. But and it's also like whatever everybody's TV can handle, because not everybody has the kind of TVs that we have. So it can get a little bit, you know, they kind of chop it off, and it gets a whole thing with that. But for me, preserving the aspect ratio is the most important. Can you tell your top three 4K Blu-rays? Um, Not at the moment. I know, like I was just talking about Pacific Rim would be probably one of them, but that's a like an all-time list. I don't know. I got to think about that. Adam, what are some movies you've never seen that might surprise your viewers? Um, I get recently. Okay, so recently I watched for the first time ever Gone with the Wind. First time I ever watched that movie. I don't know why I hadn't gotten to it. It's just one of those things that kind of just escaped. But about 6 months ago, I would say just before my surgery, I watched Gone with the Wind for the first time, and it it it's long, but it looks like it was really well made, really well made. Talladega Night and Ghost Rider 4K, maybe. My top three: Blade Runner, 2049, The Dark Knight, and Blade Runner. That's a good top three. I would I would probably put Blade Runner 2049 in that list of my top three. I think it's beautifully made. looking film. Awesome. Are you a gamer? Do you play games at all? I do. I currently own a PlayStation 4. I used to play on the PC, but my PC crapped out on me. I'm looking to probably get a new PC next year. But I don't know. It's weird. Like I would kind of have like a nice little balance of playing games with watching movies, but ever since like the surgery, I haven't played a lot. I don't know why. I just like I still have like 3 or 4 games that are unfinished that I'm working on. So I just got to get mentally back to that place where I can play some games again. RoboCop needs to be restored to 166. Yeah, I think so. I believe what is it now? 185 on Blu-ray. Yeah, yeah, incorrect aspect ratios drive me nuts. Would you like to see Godzilla 2014 and Smokey and the Bandit on 4K? Yes, I would. I think Smokey and the Bandits. I haven't seen that since I was like 12, so I don't remember a whole lot about that one. But I would like to revisit that one. Any chance of the Beatles movies coming to 4K? I don't know. Maybe. I I could see that. I could see it happening. Probably because Gone with the Wind is a long movie. Yeah, that took a while to get through. But it's funny. Like watching it for the first time, it's like a 4-hour movie, but it didn't quite feel that way. It felt like maybe three-ish to me, but I don't feel like it dragged. So I wasn't bored. I was very entertained. Blade Runner 1982, Blade Runner 2049. How often do you live stream? Not as much as I should. This is the first live stream I've done since I would say I don't remember if I did one this year yet. I had like I usually save it for like things like when I hit 5,000 subscribers or something like that. I would like to do it more. I really would. Um, I may do another one in September at some point. We'll see how my schedule goes, but I like doing it. I like you guys are cool to hang out with. I love Apocalypse Now, and the 4K is also pretty. Oh, the Apocalypse Now 4K looks great. That one looks really good. Rush Hour movies on 4K. Yeah, I could see that. I can see that. I like the first two. Third one, I think I only watched once. Um, yeah, yeah, I think once. I think once. Smokey and the Bandit is a hoot. That's one I got to go back to. I really do. Maybe I'll try to find that one digitally, or maybe I'll try to get it on Blu-ray cheap or something. But I should go back to that one because I remember that kind of being a big deal in my household when I was growing up. Like my dad would watch it all the time. Um, but yeah, I got to go back to that. Watched Greyhound with Tom Hanks last night. It was good. It was a good. I heard that one was good. I got to check that one out. Did you see the restoration of Come and See by Criterion? I have not. That is, I think it's on my wish list for that one. I gotta. Yeah, I think so. Best Buy has Smoking the Band for $5.99 off. Okay. Yeah, I'll check that one out again. For $6, that's worth picking up. How many of those movies did they make anyway? I know there was what, at least three Smokey and the Bandit movies. What's your opinion on canceling non-PC movies like Gone with the Wind and Birth of a Nation? I don't think that, you know, I don't like censorship. I don't, I don't like the certain, kind of demonization of movies that seems to be happening these days. Like, oh, this movie, because they don't have today's modern, sensibilities, then they're evil. I don't like that thought process. So I just want, movies to be preserved. I don't, that's one of the things about streaming I don't like, because content can get altered. Disney Plus has already done it. They changed a few things off of Splash. They blurred out part of Daryl Hannah's butt or something. And there's a couple other things that they did. And I don't like censorship. I think a movie, if it came out, it should be the way it is. It should be preserved that way. And that's why physical media to me is very important, is because that can't happen. If it, if you own it on your shelf, then it's going to stay that way. It's not going to get digitally changed. So no, I don't like the whole canceling of movies of a certain time. We can learn from them, that sort of thing, but just demonizing them is just got to stop. It really just, it's terrible. Did you know Sean Young was supposed to be Vicky Vale instead of Kim Basinger? I think I remember hearing that like years ago. Agreed on Apocalypse Now, amazing as 2001 Space Odyssey. Yeah, 2001 was beautiful. That was beautiful. Disney should restore Song of the South. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. They've already said it won't, but that's a whole other topic. Tarantino films need 4Ks. Yes, they do. Speaking of Kim Basinger, has she been in any horror films? She has a great scream in Batman. That's true. She kind of does have a good scream in Batman. Well, I don't know if she's been in a horror film. I think she's probably been in a thriller or something, but um, yeah, I don't know. Did you like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 4K? I get now the collector's vinyl 4K edition. Right now, I own the Blu-ray Steelbook and the double orange vinyl. I liked it. I think HDR was very reserved in that one, and I think it looks really good in 4K. Yes, three Smokey and the Bandit. Only first two are Burt Reynolds. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew he was like in the first two, but the third one for some reason I thought it was like somebody else in that one. I would love to see many of the films from Columbia Classics collection instead as individual releases. One film I'm quite interested in is Jerry Maguire. Yeah, I think that they should release these individually. Definitely Lawrence of Arabia needs to get a single release. But I guess I don't know. I like to see them all come. I don't want anybody like not being able to get these movies in 4K for that reason. Put them on individual releases, and then do a limited run or something if you don't want to leave them out there forever. Let's see. Blurring Daryl's booty. Disney Plus got a Disney. I grabbed Gone with the Wind and never watched it in Blazing Saddles and Tropic Thunder. Blazing Saddles is awesome. That one's funny. That's a movie that's like the ending. I still don't like the ending of Blazing Saddles. I like everything up until that. It's just it felt to me that they didn't know how to end that movie. Like it just like the joke went on too long, and it didn't for me personally didn't pay off. But 2/3 of that movie, I love that movie. Do you watch classic war movies like The Longest Day? I do. I haven't seen The Longest Day in a while. I think the last time I watched it was on DVD, but I would like to revisit that one. Yeah, that was a good one. And also, like they mentioned this in uh, the survey for the Columbia Classics Collection Volume 2, The Guns of Navarone. I would like to go back to that one also. Any news on 1982's Poltergeist getting a 4K? Nothing. I would love that on 4K, but I haven't heard anything. Paramount has great 4Ks, but need to put out more catalog titles. I agree. Like they do better than Disney, obviously, but it's not much better. Um, I will give them credit though; they did put out Pet Cemetery in 4K, which, well, it's not the best looking. At least it's out there, But like a lot of studios seem to not do horror films on 4K, but Kim Basinger was in Bless the Child. That's a horror movie. Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that one. I'm going to have to go visit that one. Have you ever been interested in making movies? No, I don't think so. I wouldn't mind writing for a movie or writing a movie. I think I could do that, but because I used to write a lot, like when I was younger, but I don't I don't want to make a movie, but I think I could write a screenplay. I have like three ideas that are constantly in my head for one. What sequel would you like to see made? Um, I want to see Alita Battle Angel sequel. I think that I think that would look good. I want to see that where that goes. Smokey and the Bandit 3 was originally shot with Jackie Gleason in dual roles as both the cop and the bandit. It was even titled Smokey is the Bandit. A trailer was released, but I don't think that cut ever was. That would be hysterical. What is the best upscale 4K Blu-ray in your opinion? Pacific Rim. What is your all-time favorite cyberpunk film made? I would say recently, Mortal Engines would fall into that category. I think that one was pretty awesome, and the 4K looks spectacular. Why do I prefer steelbooks over slips? Because I think honestly the reason I like steelbooks is because 9 times out of 10 they have a better cover. I like the artwork better on the steelbook most times. There have been a few exceptions to that rule, but I think that's pretty much why I like the steelbook. I think if they had the cover art on the slipcover, because I don't like spending an extra $5 on a steelbook. I don't do it. I don't like it, but I get it for the better artwork. Happy anniversary. Thank you, the hater. Pink Floyd The Wall has never even received a 1080p Blu-ray, let alone a 4K. Any news? It's a visually gorgeous film. I would love a 4K of The Wall. Like really, seriously would love that. Uh, Adam, do you watch the YouTubers Dave McRae, Drum Drums, Cody Leach, or we watched a movie? They aren't physical media channels, but I focus on movie talk, especially horror. I don't, you'd be very surprised what I have on my subscription list. I'll be honest, it's not a whole lot of movie related stuff. It's mostly like there's a lot of like kind of just game stuff, because I mentioned I do game a lot. Um, it's just like I don't know. I like to kind of just, and there's also some travel stuff I have subscribed to on my list. But um, yeah, I probably should. I listen to more podcasts than I do watch movie stuff on YouTube. I think it's because I spend a lot of time on YouTube with like my own channel. It's like I don't really want to go back to it too much when it comes to movie stuff. I'm sure there's a ton of great content out there. It's just dividing my time. But when it comes to movie stuff, I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's almost midnight in UK. How much longer are you on for? Probably another 10, 15 minutes. Because I've already been on for almost 2 hours now. So I ordered Marriage Story on Criterion because you mentioned was shot on film. Yes, it's a good looking Blu-ray. Depressing movie, very depressing, but it's still like really good. Any news about the Shrek films on 4K? Blu-ray.com has them listed. I have not seen or even heard of anything coming from DreamWorks or whoever even owns the rights to Shrek at this point. I think they're probably going to release them because I keep hearing talk that they're making another one. They'll probably release them when and if they make another Shrek movie. Do you think the Walt Disney Treasure series will ever come back, maybe on Blu-ray? Oh man. I think if I have one regret about selling my DVDs was selling my Walt Disney Treasures collection. I really kick myself for doing that because I remember going through such an ordeal to get them. And I totally regret selling those on DVD. I made a lot of money from them, but I wish I still owned them. Those would probably be the only DVDs I would still have in my collection. Do I watch football? I watch towards playoff season. I'm more of a playoff season type person. I listen like for scores and everything, and I keep apprised of what's going on, but I don't watch weekly. It's because the song rights that Pink Floyd's Wall isn't out on Blu-ray. Any news about Coen Brothers on 4K Blu-ray? Nothing I've heard. We were talking about Coen Brothers a little while ago, but I haven't heard anything. There's quite a few of those movies I would love to see. Do I still watch DVDs? No. I just don't think that I tried them on the OLED once a while ago, but I don't think they looked all that good. And it's like so noticeable from like Blu-ray to DVD to 4K or even DVD to Blu-ray. When is The Irishman coming? Apparently, Criterion is going to be releasing that one before the end of the year. I heard December. Now I don't know if that's true. Um, we should start getting the next batch of Criterion announcements really soon. So I'm hoping before the end of the year. What are my upcoming videos? Tomorrow I have Project Powers review coming, and then I've got a couple stuff coming this week. A couple old stuff reviewing. I have the X-Men films ranked video coming. That's it coming on Tuesday. So I have a whole bunch of stuff coming next week. And then I'm going to review Flash Gordon at some point next week. Amazon says they're going to be releasing that one or sending that to me on Thursday. So I watch it on Thursday, I review it for Friday. And I'm also getting the Gamera collection box set. I don't think I'm going to review it. I might do an unboxing video for that one because it's so huge. But I'm excited to check that one out. Does YouTube channel make enough money for you to live on? Not even close. Not even close. It's definitely not. Favorite A24 movie? Let's say Lighthouse is probably one in there. That's A24, right? Say The Witch is really good. Ghost Story. I know Ghost Story pisses a lot of people off, but I liked it. Yeah, I think those are like in my favorites from A24. Which football team do I support? I don't really. That's the thing. Like I'm more of a like a playoffs fan because I wasn't raised on football. So football was like when I was in my 20s that I would watch it, but I would watch it for like the playoffs. So I like to see good teams go at it. Like, two equally awesome teams go at it. So I don't really have a favorite. I'm from the Philadelphia. Well, I live in the Philadelphia area, so it'd be the Eagles are my local team, but I don't really have like an affiliation with them. Like I don't really have any kind of like diehard thing for them. So, but I like to see like a good Super Bowl matchup. I was excited when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. That was fun, but I just want to see good teams go at it. Like I know it's kind of a weird way to think about it. But when it comes to sports, that's kind of how I am. I don't really, except for the Lakers. Like I grew up in Southern California, and I still love the Lakers. But I would say that's pretty much where it goes there. And also the Dodgers are really like a good team that I would follow when I was living out there. When you watched your first 4K on your OLED, were you wowed, and what was the film? Yes, I was wowed, and the film, what was the movie? Blade Runner 2049 was the first movie I watched on the OLED. That was beautiful. What were the Disney treasures? I owned all of them. I owned all of them on DVD. I liked the Disneyland one with the opening of Disneyland, and I also liked the Mickey Shorts Volume 1 was a really good one. And I always enjoyed Silly Symphonies too. I thought that was a good one. What is the best region-free Blu-ray player to buy? I want to get some overseas titles soon, and I wanted to get the best one for my money. I don't really have an answer to that question. I haven't bought a region-free Blu-ray player for like 10, 15 years. So I don't know what would be going. If anybody has any suggestions, let them know. What are the rarest releases I own? I don't. That's the thing. Like I could better answer this question when I had a DVD collection. I had a lot of rare stuff there. Going back to the Walt Disney Treasures stuff, I owned all those. But as far as Blu-ray goes, there's not a whole lot. I mean, there's some stuff I have that is rare. 4K. There's even a couple things that are hard to get now. Terrence Malick's Song to Song is one of those. I think it's out of print. I think Blade Runner is technically out of print, or some, I don't know. I keep hearing it comes back in stock, but I think when it comes to now the 4K stuff, it's really whether you get a slipcover or not is what makes it rare. But I think there are a few. I would have to like go through the collection and see which ones are rare. The Friday the 13th, the tin box set, I still have that one for Blu-ray. I know they're releasing the Screen Factory version. That's pretty rare. I know a lot of people didn't have that one for a while, so there's some stuff in there. What TV do I have? An LG C9 65-inch. In all my videos, I keep a description of all the gear that I have. Blade Runner 2049 is worth checking out in 3D too. I agree. The 3D, I know it's not really kind of looked upon fondly by Roger Deakins, but it's still cool to watch. It's funny how Disney is capable of making really amazing physical media releases, and they're just ditching physical media like no one cares anymore. Yeah, they had a peak of when they really, I felt, cared about it. And I hate to say it, it was like VHS DVD days were the peak. I would even argue Laserdisc had some great sets from Disney. I still remember the Fantasia set. Was a nice Disney thing from in Laserdisc. But I felt they never really embraced Blu-ray as a collectible, like the collectible aspect of it. They sure as hell didn't do it for 4K. I mean, they kind of phoned it in. I know they released all the Pixar stuff, and there's a lot of animated stuff they did release on 4K. But I never felt like they really embraced that format. I think the peak for them was Laserdisc, DVD, VHS, I think was really where they cared about it. I think they kind of phoned it in ever since. It's a shame that Blade Runner 2049 didn't do that well at the box office. We probably won't get a sequel, unfortunately. Never say never. I would like a sequel, but I think the way this one ended was really nice. It's amazing how well Deacon's photography translated to 3D, given that he wasn't a fan. Stunning depth and symmetry, gorgeous in stereo, if accidentally. It was. It looked really good. It looked really good. Blade Runner 2049 was good, but I prefer the original. I think both have their strengths. I think they both do. Blade Runner for the originality of it, and 2049 for, I think, a worthy follow up. And I think it's really good. It's really good. Hey, I hope you're having a good day. Thank you very much. Do you think there will be a Region B box set of the Friday the 13th franchise? I don't know. I don't know what Screen Factory's legal distribution rights are for that. What's your thoughts on Superbit? Are you from DVD days? I owned a few. I don't know if they really looked better, but I think they look pretty solid. Flash Gordon 4K out next week. Are you picking that up? Yeah, I have my order on from Amazon. It should get here Thursday. In your opinion, what do you think makes a movie great? Um, I think passion is what makes a movie great. I think if there's less studio interference and just passion behind the creative team, performances can take you so far, you know, acting, but I think really it comes to passion behind the project. Have you been gaming recently? You have to play Ghost of Tsushima. That's on my short list to get. I think the next game I'm going to get, I'm planning on getting that because really want to play it in the Kurosawa mode. I hear that looks really good. Adam, will you be celebrating with a bottle of champagne tonight? No, I don't drink. Are you looking forward to Tenet? I am. I am very much looking forward to Tenet. I really want to see that on the big screen. Superbit was marketing BS. It was. I think it really was. Do you think 4K UHD disc is the last physical format, or do you think there will be another? I think it's the last. I don't see them making eight eight 8K discs. I don't see it. Do I game on my OLED? Yes, I do. Thoughts on COVID? It sucks. Do you collect only movies you like, or you purchase a movie if it's a good deal? More, I think 99 out of 100 times I purchase a movie I like. I purchase movies to review for the channel that kind of lukewarm about. But then I'll go ahead and sell them at some point. But yeah, for my hobby sake, I purchase only movies I like. I don't like Flash Gordon, for instance. That's kind of like an example. Like I like the movie, but I was never like a diehard fan of it. So I'm buying that one mostly to review for the channel. Um, it'd be interesting to go back and revisit this one though. All right, just a couple more minutes, guys. Then I gotta get going for the evening. So anybody got some last minute questions? Spider-Man 4Ks are the best they've ever looked. I plan on doing a review of the Raimi trilogy coming up, so probably in the next 2 weeks. Am I against 2K upscale? No, I'm not against it, and I understand why they do it. I'm not as down on it that some people are. But I think I see the argument on both sides. What do I think needs to happen in order for digital to replace disc quality? Uh, just better internet all around because most of the country or most of the world doesn't have like the necessary bandwidth to maintain a 4K signal or let alone an 8K signal that they want to do at some point. We've got a long ways to go for that. Is there a limit to how big I'll let my movie collection get? No. It's been great watching you for the last year. Also, do you have any advice for someone who, like myself, who is starting a movie YouTube channel? Um, just enjoy doing it. Just be consistent and embrace your audience as best you can. Like people will, follow you if you're passionate about something. Am I a James Bond fan? Yes, I am. What do you think of the state of the series, and where do you see it going in the future? Controversial topic for me, but I'm not a huge Daniel Craig fan as Bond. I like Daniel Craig and other stuff, but he always looks like he'd rather be somewhere else when he's doing these movies. And he's even kind of said that in interviews. I love Skyfall. I like the first three movies, but it just looked like he'd rather be somewhere else doing them. I don't know. I think they need to kind of change up the formula a little bit. Hopefully, the new one will do that. But I'm hopeful of the future of Bond because I loved a lot of the Bond films. Thoughts on the upcoming Steelbook release of Halloween Evil Dead? They look good. I like the Steelbooks for them. Which movie sequels would you like to see made? I talked a little bit about this earlier. Alita Battle Angel was one that came to mind. Thanks for the live stream. Stay healthy and congrats on your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you, DNA. Thank you. Do you think comic book movies are getting played out, and do you think unknown comic book titles should get more movie releases? Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's a potential for that to happen, but I think this whole COVID thing has kind of put everything on pause. So when these start coming out again, they may get another like a second wind here for comic book movies. I think they'll definitely come back in some way. Do you like the Disney Star Wars movies? They can be. There's, yeah, they're okay. They're okay. They're not what I would have done with the movies, but they're okay. Uh, Rise of Skywalker wasn't that great though. Happy anniversary. Hope all is well with you and your family. Keep up with the good reviews. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Thank you, 3D Blu-ray Bunker. Have I watched The Boys? I have, and I really love the show. Daniel Craig, cool cat, but you can tell he's been done with Bond. Yeah. Okay, everybody. I think that is going to do it. Thank you so much for joining me on the live stream. Let me know if I should do another one soon. I got some time, hopefully some time in October or September. I'd like to maybe do another one. So thanks, guys. Like it's really been like a pleasure doing the channel for 2 years. So I'm looking forward to doing it at least another two or more. So, all right. So guys, have a good night. All right. See ya.